All right, guys, welcome to episode 32 of the Different Animals podcast. It's your boy Tyler.
And I'm Edward Castro.
And today we're going to be talking about what we've been watching super briefly. We're going to talk about the Disney Investors Call, which was fucking wild. Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. What it's like, what it must be like to be a god amongst men. And our favorite Christmas presents ever, as this episode will be dropping Christmas Eve. But first... Alright, so let's just briefly touch on what we've been watching. I'll go ahead and start, is that I finished season 1 of Fire Force. The firefighting, demon-slaying anime kind of thing that I started watching. I believe there's only 2 seasons so far, so I'm about halfway through what's been out. But so far, so good. Definitely still into it.
Okay.
There's little bits of, like, way over-the-top ridiculousness, but I feel like that's just kind of, like...
Par for the course with anime?
Kind of par for the course. I mean, that's... And you know what's funny? I think anime is basically just superhero movies. You know what I mean? Like you don't bat an eye when Superman fucking, or when Captain Marvel, like, single-handedly just, like, runs through Thanos' ship and just, like, blows the whole shit up. You're just like, no, it's Captain Marvel. So I think with anime, you just kind of like, whatever. Because, here's a quick example of, like, the most over-the-top version of this, and I guess it's a small spoiler, but I'm not going to tell you who has this, and I don't even know if you'd recognize it when it happens. But basically, like, one character, they have the ability to control fire, like a lot of people do. That's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
But one character is, like, infinitely strong, and he can stop time, and the way he apparently stops time is that he's like the strongest person you've ever seen when he shows up. He apparently emits so much heat so fast that it expands the universe, and then as the universe contracts from cooling down, time has to stop. And it's like I mean, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, it's whatever. Like, it is what it is. It's an anime, superhero movie. You know what I mean? Superman flew around the world so fast it went backwards in reverse time. So I mean,
right? Yeah, like it's like I said, it's like what you expect in this sort of like
genre type of yeah. So, but anyways, the show's good. As long as you're like somebody that can still just buy into shit like that when they want you to, still great. So yeah, I'll definitely keep watching.
Nice, good. I'm glad you liked that one.
So what you've been watching?
Yeah. So I've watched this movie Underwater with Kristen Stewart, and it was okay. Good designs. Probably not worth your time unless you really like her or just general monster movies.
Yo,
but
that's like the most disrespectful thing ever. Like, I mean, it's all right. It's decent. It's not worth your time.
Yeah, it was solid. Like, if you like her, like, as an actress, like, if people, they are still big Twilight fans, or you like sort of her indie stuff, then I think it's a great movie for her. But, like, as a whole, I'm just like, it was okay. Like, I was just like, ugh. But so I watched that.
You weren't like, I'm glad I watched this after you finished. You were like, cool,
no.
That was an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was an hour and a half I just kind of wasted. Yep. But I also finished up How To with John Wilson, which was the show that I was mentioning last week. I think when we watched it, I only needed maybe one more episode to be finished, or 2. But anyway,
that sounds right.
I finished it, and it was great. It was fantastic. It was just as good as the first half. The last episode was really, really good, and it actually sort of touches or ends up kind of where the quarantine started back in March. Okay. I can't recommend it enough. It's probably up there with, like, Rami, or what else did I watch that was really fucking good this year? Avatar. I'm trying to think of what else. But yeah, those are the ones that come to mind that I've talked about that I think are, must watches. Like, I can't recommend them enough in terms of new shows that I've seen this year. Or probably, Rami and How To with John Wilson. But I really, really enjoyed it, and it's on HBO Max. It's only 6 episodes, and actually just yesterday or today, HBO ordered a second season, so we'll be getting more in the future.
I remember we were talking like how hard it is to describe like what it is. And you were like, it's kind of like Nathan for you, but not really, but like the same idea. And then I read that he was a producer later. Like
Yeah.
I don't think we mentioned that when we talked about it before, but I read he was a producer, and I was like, oh, look at that. Look.
Yeah. He actually did a video on YouTube for not Vulture. Variety or Vulture, I forget which one, where they talk about the anatomy of a scene and they like put their own spin on it. And
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like I said, can't recommend enough. 6 half-hour episodes. It's sweet, it's heartfelt, it's funny. It's always keeps you guessing, keeps you on your toes.
Good deal.
Yeah.
That's it, right? That's all you've watched recently?
Yeah. I started Big Mouth season 4, but I'm gonna wait until I finish the season. I think I'm about a little bit more than halfway through it now. So I'll talk about that once I wrap it up.
All right, sounds good. So let's move on to the Disney investor call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So today was the big investor call. You know, they have these all the time, but then now with COVID, this has sort of become like,
This is how you're going to get your official information, basically, right?
exactly. Yep. And so I think they do them at the end of every quarter, probably. But I know that they've had a couple of other ones during quarantine. But then this one was really big because it's the end of the year, and they try to kind of keep people calm before the holidays, but then also for 2021. And so they just announced everything that's going to be going on with Disney, like everything you can imagine, just like they dumped it all over the course of the last 4 hours. They're actually doing it. I think it just wrapped up right before we started recording, or maybe they're wrapping up right now.
Okay.
But they just dumped everything you can imagine regarding everything that Disney owns. Which includes Disney Animation, Pixar, Marvel Studios, Star Wars, anything Lucasfilm, Nat Geo, Disney Plus, Hulu, FX. So anything that they own, they released sort of like a schedule for it. So there's just so much stuff that I'm gonna go through it and just sort of ding the really big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we can we can sort of split it up in terms of what ESPN is gonna get a bunch of new shows, including a new show with what's his name?
Stay off the weed.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith. And so he's gonna get a new show. And
he was on crack.
He was on crack.
God. That's so disrespectful. Why just he was on crack?
Who was on crack?
All right, so he's getting a new show.
Yeah, on Disney Plus, on ESPN Plus or Disney. I think it's Disney Plus, but then I don't know. They all sort of merged.
No, I think it's
together.
ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus.
Yeah, in January 2021.
Yeah.
ESPN Plus is launching an exclusive new studio show featuring Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah. So he's gonna get one. Tom Brady's gonna get a few. There's like a couple of other
the Tom
things.
Brady thing is ridiculous to me. I don't know why, but like it's so. Can we just like go into this as we talk about it at this point, or do you want me to wait until we get hit it later?
No, we can. This can be the ESPN Sports one.
Okay,
Yeah.
So Tom Brady did a 9-part documentary series on the first-hand account of the journey to each of his 9 Super Bowls. So here's the deal. That's cool. I don't know. You know what? I don't know how to feel about this because part of me is like, I get why they're doing it. Part of me is like, I don't know why they're doing it while he's still playing. This seems like something that should just wait till he's done because there's going to be another one of these. Yeah, and there's going to be another one of these when he's done anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's going to be another let's look through the career of Tom Brady. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then also, I kind of just don't give a shit about Tom Brady. Like I think he's a great football player, but like personally, other than him French kissing his kids on the mouth, I don't really give a shit about anything like personally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think as long as it doesn't go too like Last Dancey on us when he's like he was the greatest of all, goes off and makes it like a what can I say?
It's called Man in the Arena though, so I feel like that's what it has to be.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't know if I'll watch it. I probably will wait for somebody else to do it like with his permission, but not with him actually involved. Because I doubt they're gonna go into shit, right? They're not gonna go into Spygate or any of that stuff.
Right.
Or Deflategate. So
no, they're gonna touch on it and be like, he was so unjustly prosecuted for deflating the footballs.
Deflating the footballs. They just didn't.
He didn't destroy his phone. He just tripped and fell and dropped it, and it shattered into 1,000 pieces, and that's why they couldn't gather information off of it.
And so that, and then they had that in a Peyton Manning show with like a round table show with a bunch of other stars, and then Hulu's gonna have a bunch of stuff. So like, there's like a show with what's her name? Kate McKinnon playing Elizabeth Holmes, the founder of Theranos. Um,
Oh, okay. I didn't know who Elizabeth Holmes was, and then you said that, and I was like, oh yeah.
yeah, she had that the documentary Out for Blood,
Hmm.
on HBO. A couple of other shows with
Yeah, some of
uh
these are wild, bro. Nicole Kidman and Melissa McCarthy. First of all, why'd you pair those two people together? Two, don't care. That's it's like
I don't know, did she
I don't think I've seen anything with either of them where I've been like, wow, that's good recently. Like,
oh, Big Little Lies is amazing. If you get a chance to watch the first season of Big Little Lies, that shit was great. And then Melissa McCarthy was great in what's the movie? Spy. She was great in Spy with Jason Statham and Rose Byrne. She was great in that.
really?
Yeah, that one was a great one. That one was actually really, really good. I think I forget when it came out. I think it came out like 4 or 5 years ago, and people just thought that it wasn't like a dumb comedy, but it was actually very, very good.
I feel like
Um,
when you include Melissa McCarthy, that's just kind of what happens, right?
but
Like,
no,
and not
yeah,
not of no fault to her own, but like, if I'm being honest, if I see Melissa McCarthy in a movie, I'm gonna be like, wow, it's just a dumb comedy movie. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and it's weird because I don't have, you know what? Like Adam Sandler should be the same way, but every once in a while, like you can tell when an Adam Sandler movie's supposed to be serious. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
oh,
right.
this is him actually trying to act. Like no one saw Uncut Gems trailer. I was like, I think this is a dumb funny movie. Like,
And like I haven't seen the one she was nominated for an Oscar for the second time. The I hope you can forgive me, but I heard she was great in that too. And then she was fucking fantastic in Bridesmaids, but that was it's what, 9 years ago now. So she was great in that. She was great in Spy. I haven't seen some of the other like the one where she's with Jason Bateman, but I need to watch the one where she was nominated for an Oscar. I think you can forgive me.
okay.
Because I heard she was really great in that. And then fucking Nicole Kidman's been killing it on TV because she was great in Big Little Lies, and I think she just finished up another show. Oh, and she was great in Paddington. But
I haven't watched any like shows really recently, so that's
mhm.
probably why I'm like she hasn't been in anything that I've ever cared about lately.
She finished a show called The Undoing, which I heard was kind of like
I heard something about that. I feel like I remember
yeah,
hearing good things.
yeah. I think it just finished up. I will see what people think and then give it a chance if it's good. But then they're doing another Handmaid season. FX is doing American Horror Stories. Why the Last Man, which is based on a comic book, and
New
Alien.
seasons of Atlanta, it says.
Oh, mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Alien, the movie is getting a series, which kind of bums me out. Oh wait, shit, helmed by Noah Hawley. Oh, I like him. He did the Fargo movies or the Fargo
Okay.
shows.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I think I've heard that show was actually really, really good.
I need to watch the fourth season with Chris Rock. I watched the first three, but I need to watch the fourth. That's on
All
my
right,
list.
so you ready to hear the most insane, bizarre, not making any fucking sense thing ever?
hmm
Which is that growing up, for the longest time, I had never seen Fargo, and I'd only heard the name, and like I had never seen like any visuals from it. I just heard the name, and I don't know what sort of fucking mental gymnastics happened in my brain as a child, where like these two things got intertwined, right? But every time I thought Fargo, I thought what I've come another movie I haven't seen but have only seen like boy, this is a fucking terrible sentence.
hmm
I have not watched this movie, but it is a scene from this movie that I have used my eyeballs to view. And it's fucking Mel Gibson with blue face paint on from fucking Braveheart, right?
Uh-huh.
Isn't that Braveheart?
Yeah.
Every time someone said Fargo for like a solid 10, 15 years, probably, I'm going to say legitimately 10 or 15 years, they were like, Fargo, my head went, Mel Gibson with blue face paint, Scottish, like, and so you were like, Fargo, the season 4 with Chris Rock. And even still to this day, even though I know that's not the case anymore, my first thought was Kid Rock in fucking blue face paint, like trying to kill someone. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I was like, oh no, that's Braveheart. Like, I
Your
don't
brain
know
had
where my
conflated the
fucking, like, I don't know where everything went wrong that caused that, but it has happened for a very long time.
hmm
All right, so yeah, sorry, that's just a random fucking.
Just your
bit
brain
of
was
info.
like conflating the two, and
Yeah.
yeah, like it fits.
You're like Chris Rock, and I was like, nah, does not compute. Like, oh, all right, so yeah, so he did Fargo, so now he's doing the Alien show. So that actually probably makes you feel a little better about it now that you read that.
Yeah, but I liked Alien Covenant, the one that came out a couple years ago. That one was really good. It was like the last one with Ridley Scott directing, and I was kind of hoping we would get one more because it kind of ends on a cliffhanger
Hmm.
a little bit. But I'm excited for this, so we'll see how it goes. Always Sunny was not renewed for 4 more seasons, which is fucking nuts.
Yeah, I
And
haven't
then,
watched that in a very long time, but I still have such like fond memories of it.
mhm. Yeah, and I
Um,
mean, and if they're getting paid, that's fucking awesome. 18 seasons they're gonna be by the time that
deal
um,
is over.
deal is over. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm
Um,
probably gonna have to start watching it again because, like I said, I haven't watched it in a real long time.
mhm.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah, let me see. And then they moved on to Star Wars. So Star Wars is the one is like one of the ones that's going to get a lot of stuff. So they got I think 10 series in total. So they got let me see. Let me move this out the way. So they got one
has oh,
hmm?
go ahead.
I was going to say Rangers of the New Republic, which is based from the Mandalorian. Ahsoka, which is also from the Mandalorian universe.
And
Cassian.
also, she had her kind of own thing, right? Like the animated show that I
Hmm.
don't think is canon anymore. Like I think it was kind of retconned, but
Yeah,
she was a big character in that also, right? The Clone Wars animated
yeah.
show, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when she showed up in The Mandalorian, I think like a week ago or two,
Hmm.
everybody was like, "Oh my god, that's okay." And I was just kind of like, "Okay, like I just met her, so I don't really know. Like I don't.
Yeah.
You guys are fucking using your minds." So, but yeah, she's gonna get a show. Cassian Andor, who was in Rogue One a couple years ago, he's gonna get a show. Ewan McGregor's back as Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's gonna get a show, and Hayden Christensen's back as Darth Vader for that. Another animated show called The Bad Batch, another animated show called Visions, a Lando show, but they haven't said if what's his name,
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover's back, so that who knows what that's gonna be like. A couple of other animated shows, Willow, based on like the 1980s movies back, and then they're gonna make another Indiana Jones, which is gonna be directed by James Mangold, who did Logan, which is
Okay.
huge. And apparently, what's his name is actually coming back, Harrison Ford. So
Yeah.
because he was old as fuck in the last one,
Yeah.
that was 12 years ago.
Yeah. So all right. So here's my thoughts on this: is that one, Star Wars continues to be the worst franchise of all time that continues to
Oh,
get movies made.
well, there's two more. There's another. There's the last two announcements for Star Wars were a full-length feature film by Taika Waititi, and that one's untitled. And then
Hmm.
Patty Jenkins, the director of Wonder Woman 1 and 2, she's doing a movie based on Rogue Squadron, which is like a fighter jet, like Top Gun in space kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. So as I said before, worst franchise to ever keep getting movies made. But two, could this feel any more like they're just fucking murdering this thing? Like not in like a good way, but like they're like Star Wars, nah. Fucking stab it till it's done bleeding. Like,
Like, yeah, I
we're gonna
mean,
get every drop of blood from this thing before we fucking dies. And like, no, it's the fucking Lorax, bro. Star Wars is the Lorax. They're just fucking chopping down all the fucking Star Wars trees, and it's like you could just chop down like half of them at a time, let the other
hmm
half grow, and then you'd be good. But they're like, nah, bro, we're chopping them all down right now. Too much money to make right now, right now, right now. Fucking hey, just like Facebook, like fucking nah, I don't care about a reputation. We're sending this shit out right now.
yeah, like somebody, Patrick Willems, who I've mentioned before, he does these videos on YouTube. He was like, I miss it when it was like this one thing that would come by every 3 or 4 years, and then it would be huge, and it would sort of take over the culture for a little bit, and then it would go back, go sort of recede a little bit, and then come back 3 or 4 years later, sort of like make it more of an event, right? But now they're just
Mhm.
sort of flooding the market with 10 series over the course of the next few years.
That's the thing for me is I remember when I saw I talked about this a while ago, but they dropped the slate and it was like a bunch of fucking movies. It was like a bunch of Star Wars movies and then some Avatar movies. And I was like, that's a lot of fucking Star Wars. Like, I hope it goes well. But the thing is like, to me, that was like realistically the line. Like, you walked right up to the line, you're like, we're going to give you a bunch of Star Wars. And to me, it was like, all right, you're not killing it yet. You know what I mean? Like, you're not beating this thing till it's dead yet. But you're definitely, like, you're pushing it. You know what I mean? Again, like, we got 3 movies. I don't know how long was between the original trilogy and the prequels, but it was a fucking while. And then from the prequels to the new ones was also, again, I don't know, but a fucking while.
Yeah, it was 16 years, and then it was 10.
Right. That's a huge gap. And then all of a sudden you're like, nah, every year. Like, we're dropping like one of these every year, every other year. I was like, okay, this is getting like kind of packed in all of a sudden. And then there were like 10 series, a fucking cartoon. They just went so over the top, bro.
Right, they just like, and especially because the reaction to Rise of Skywalker was relatively muted compared to the last one. So they literally said they were like, all right, we're gonna shut everything down, we're gonna start, sort of put a pause on everything, and then we're gonna go back and to the drawing board on on a couple of things, including James Mangold, who was going to direct the new Indiana Jones. He was going to do a Boba Fett movie, and then that just got straight up scrapped. And then there was another one, and then Rian Johnson, who directed The Last Jedi, they got announced that he was going to do a trilogy, but that's not in part of these announcements. But the Taika Waititi one is, so that's a little weird. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it's just like for me, like I'm excited for like half of these. Like, I definitely want to see the Taika Waititi
That's
one.
the thing, is that the Star Wars should not be a thing where you're excited for half of them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have all these coming out. Like, people like The Mandalorian, so that's going to be on everyone's list, right? Mm-hmm. The Bad Batch, do people really care? You know what I mean?
Maybe the people who like the animated ones. I probably won't watch the animated shows.
Yeah, like, Visions doesn't... It's all like a bunch of shit that's like... They went to tertiary to me. You know what I mean? Like, they mm-hmm. turned and found every little thing. They're like, we could probably make a show about that. Here you go. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to do the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, that mm-hmm. makes sense to me. That seems like a very obvious, like, no, it's great. People liked his character. We're bringing back the Hayden for Darth Vader, so that'll go well. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then they're like, all right, but also, like the Bad Batch, Willow Squadron, like, and it's not to say those will be bad, but it's just like I don't think you want to flood the market and then only people really care about half of it. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like I just don't know. And then this is gonna go into the Marvel stuff too. I mean, I probably realistically will watch half of them. I'm excited for half of them, but we'll see how it goes. And then, so Disney Plus itself has a couple of just like kid family ones, a couple of sports ones. There's like a movie based on the real life stories of Chris Paul and Giannis. So that'll be funky, weird. A Cheaper by the Dozen remake, a sequel for Hocus Pocus.
Oh, Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks, yeah. The Lion King prequel we talked about a couple episodes ago, that's still happening, and it's the music is nuts. So they got Hans Zimmer, Pharrell Williams, and then Nicholas Brittle, and Nicholas Brittle is popular because he did the theme song he does the music for Succession, the show on HBO. Okay. So that'll be fucking huge, and they mentioned the cast of The Little Mermaid, the live action one, with Haley Bailey from Chloe and Haley, mm-hmm. or Hallie, and then Javier Bardem's in it, and so is Melissa McCarthy, and then music by the guys from before and Lin-Manuel, so that's cool. A new Chip and Dale show with John Mulaney and Andy Samberg, so that'll be fun. Okay. Chip is being played by John Mulaney and Dale is by Andy Samberg. So I think this one's going to be more like a live-action hybrid animated one, kind of like Space Jam. Right. So, but it'll be interesting to hear Chip or the voice of John Mulaney in an animated cartoon, because I'm so used to him doing one of the kids from Big Mouth.
Oh, yeah. The redhead kid, right?
Yeah. With the like little wispy mustache.
Yeah. But he was also Peter Porker, right?
Yes, that too. Yep. I forgot about that one. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to hear Chip and Dale be like, "Oh, this is Andrew."
Real quick, you said Javier Bardem is in The Little Mermaid. Mm-hmm. And I just can't. I can't imagine him anything other than what's his name?
Anton Sugar.
Yeah, Anton Sugar. Just like he's a Little Mermaid.
He's playing.
He's like, what am I? Yeah, he's like, what am I? What? He's like, what can I win or whatever? He's like, what are we playing for? He's like, everything.
Everything.
Fucking.
You married into it.
He just has like his trident. It just has like a little fucking air thing on the end to just like blow a hole in someone's head. Oh god! All right,
you have to call it.
King Triton has that terrible haircut.
The fucking bull cut. It's just like, it's like that. If you ever saw Aquaman, you know how the water, they did that like water hair technology where it's like, like water looks underwater, but it's like that. It's
yeah.
A new Enchanted sequel, a new Peter Pan movie, Sister Act 3 with Whoopi Goldberg,
Okay, where did that come
I don't know
from?
who asked for that one. Some of these are like, who asked for this? They're doing a spin-off with two of the people from Beauty and the Beast, and it's like, who asked for this?
Yeah, it's like exactly like who in the investment call was like, here's a target demographic we really need to key in on. It's
Exactly.
people that want the Sister Act
The
3.
Sister Act movies, yeah, to come back, which is interesting. So, like, for something like Hocus Pocus 2, I get it because every Halloween people watch it. Like, it's
Right.
sort of become like Elf or
Absolutely.
Love Actually. For
You know what I
Halloween.
haven't seen? People being like, my yearly fucking Sister Act 3.
It's Mother Teresa's birthday. We're watching Sister Act 1 and 2. So that, yeah, I guess I mean maybe there's like groups of people who like really.
There's
like
no
it.
way, bro. No, I disagree. They came out with 8 fucking Star Wars shows that only like half of them are gonna get watched. I just don't know why they threw this in with them.
Who knows? Maybe it ends up being kind of like what's the show? There's the Saved by the Bell. It got like a reboot or remake, a Lego sequel on Peacock, and apparently it's really, really, really good. So maybe it's like that. Maybe it's like out of all of these, people are like, step aside, Mandalorian. Sister Act 3 is the best show on Disney+.
No, but that's the thing is that fucking Saved by the Bell still had people talking about it. Like every 90s nostalgic, like, oh, Saved by the Bell. Or like maybe older than 90s, but like, oh, you remember Saved by the Bell? It was great.
Yeah.
Like, here's the deal. I think I've heard of the Sister Act 2 recently as a fucking joke that it was like a thing that people watched. Like, it wasn't even that the people watched it. They were like, wouldn't it be ridiculous if this was something that people continued to watch and love? And then it was like, Sister Act 3. God, I need to figure out where I heard it. God, because I feel like it might have been a podcast or something. And they kept bringing up Sister Act as a joke every single time. And I'm going to be so disappointed. But
I don't even think I've seen it.
I haven't seen it either. Like, who has? Other than Whoopi Goldberg, bro. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so who knows? Whoever asked for it is getting it. But then they're also going to have series for Baymax from Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Tiana from Princess and the Frog, and Moana. So they're all getting animated series. But I think, I'm guessing those will be kind of like, I would imagine they'd be somewhere between like an actual movie quality and remember those cartoons they used to put in the early 2000s, like the Buzz Lightyear one or Tarzan had one. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I think so.
And they were like basically the quality of like Tarzan 2 direct to DVD, right? Tarzan 2, Tarzan's Cub or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That kind of like low shit quality stuff. So I'm guessing this will be somewhere in between, where it's not going to be that cheap, but it's also not going to be as nice and expensive as the actual movies. And so that's on the Disney.
Yo, I just saw this, and this is the weirdest pairing. I have no idea what the fuck this movie's gonna be. It says another mystery is unfolding. Join Tony Hale and Kristen Shaw in the Mysterious Benedict Society. You know who Tony Hale is?
Yeah.
But what the fuck? Like those, I can't. All I can see is each of their characters like. What the fuck is this movie gonna be? I just imagine him with the fucking hook hand.
With the hook, yeah.
In the rest of development. I imagine him with the hook hand and her like just following fucking Jermaine and Clement around. Like
I like them too. So I think that one's gonna be more of a kids movie, like a family movie. But like hopefully it's like good for everybody.
Right.
Yeah. Pixar's gonna have a bunch of shit. They still got Soul coming out on Christmas Day on Disney Plus. What else? Like Pixar's gonna have actual series. So one based on Lightning McQueen, one based on Doug from Up, and then another one that's like an original one, and then a couple of actual like animated movies, like the real chunk, like fucking features. One of them actually being Lightyear, which is like the story of Buzz Lightyear, voiced by Chris Evans.
Okay.
Yeah. So that sounds really good. And I tweeted, I said that if this is like the show from the early 2000s, or remember the beginning of Toy Story 2 when he's like, it's like the video game. If it's like that, dude, I'm in. Dude, that shit sounds amazing, right? Like, I remember watching that as a kid and be like, when he's like going into the base and he's like shooting around and he's going through the shit with the spikes. And I remember being like, holy shit, like this would be awesome if this was a full movie. So
right. Yeah, no, I'm definitely in on that.
It only took 23 years.
Hey, but Sister Act 3, baby.
Exactly. So there was some kid watching Sister Act 2 being like, man, I wish we had more of this.
No, there wasn't. That's what I'm telling you, bro. That person doesn't exist.
And so they put a screenshot. If you keep going down the thread, there's a screenshot of it, and it looks like
Yeah.
a legit movie. Like it looks like you know what it looks like? It looks like an Overwatch short.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see what you're looking at. Yeah.
Yeah. And then wrapping up with Marvel, they got the WandaVision show, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming in March, and then Loki coming in May. So those are the series that they announced for fucking ever ago, and then an animated series. And then they wrapped on Shang-Chi.
God, they're doing this. All right, sorry, go ahead.
What, for which one?
No, it's just I'm looking at this and I'm like, they're fucking. All right, so I don't know how I can feel this way, but they used to come out with a Marvel movie, like I feel like 2 times a year, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that was it. It was like you watch one in May, you watch one in July, and
all right. So
see you next
I'm
year.
looking at this and I'm like, all right, Hawkeye, don't give a shit about. I like Jeremy Renner, but like I could the character, whatever. Like I don't give a shit about your character. She-Hulk would be cool because first of all, we've never gotten a regular fucking Hulk anything. So She-Hulk, I'm okay with. Moon
and
Knight.
they're bringing.
Go ahead.
They're bringing back what's his name, Tim Roth. Or do you remember the one with Ed Norton and he was that giant bony monster?
Abomination or whatever.
I can't believe they're actually bringing him back.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
And then Moon Knight, which I mean, I guess if you want Batman and Marvel, that's what you get. And then it's like fucking Ironheart, which is another Iron Man movie. Armor Wars, which is fucking Iron Man again. There's a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Get that shit out of here. I Am Groot movie. Get that shit out of here. Like I just the fuck.
The fact that James Gunn is involved in the holiday special, I'm like, okay, like I've mentioned before, like anytime a big writer or director or whatever latches onto something, I'm like, okay, like there must be something, because literally James Gunn could be doing anything he wanted. And the fact that he was like, hey, Kevin Feige, let me write this fucking holiday season special or whatever, that he must have been like, had some sort of idea for him to give him like, yeah, sure, here's fucking $80 million. Give me half an hour of whatever. So as weird as that sounds, like when I saw that, I was like, that looks weird. But then I saw written and directed by James Gunn. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I'm back on.
So here's the thing. As I'm scrolling through all this Marvel shit, the fucking most important, most legit one fucking doesn't even have a fucking picture with it, which I know is already news, but Mahershala Ali is playing Blade. That's the one I'm the most hyped for.
Yeah, not even like a. Yeah, you're right. Like it's just like a tweet.
It's trying
just
to ice skate uphill.
Catch you fuckers at a bad time.
Then he fucking roundhouse kicks a fucking syringe into someone's dome piece. God, Blade's the fucking best, yo. It's. The third one was so bad.
But I gotta send you this video by Patrick Willems where he talks about Blade 2 and why it's awesome.
Okay.
He's like, people are fucking going nuts over Donnie Yen doing that shit in Star Wars. He was doing this 12 years ago in Blade 2, And he's like, how they talk about like Winter Soldier making the fights in superhero movies cool? Blade was doing that shit early on. They're punching each other and then he kicks him and he flies and then he suplexes like a guard. Remember that? In Blade 2?
Also, the other thing is like, somehow it doesn't make any sense, but like he would hit something with like full force, it would make a full force reaction, but then they would just fucking disintegrate. like if they were gonna disintegrate, they should have disintegrated when you punched them, but not like you get the full impact of a punch and then they disintegrate.
He would do like hoo, 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 and then on the last one they go. I'm like, okay.
Hey, but guess what? It looked fucking dope.
Like, why would you want to cause a vampire pain when you can just poke him and then they?
Because you're fucking Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Out here evading taxes. All right.
Christian Bale confirmed as the villain for Thor, Love and Thunder. So that'll be. Right. I hope they let him go nuts and just keep his Welsh accent. Oh boy, mate, fucking go butcher, and just fucking go nuts. Let's see. I think that's where it stops for me. I think. A third Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I haven't watched any of those.
They're the filler movies. You're not missing much. I mean, let me think. Not Michael Pena. What's his name? I forget the guy from Fresh Off the Boat. He's in the second one for a little bit, and he's really funny.
Is it? I do feel like Michael Pena is in it, right?
He is, but he's okay.
Okay.
Peyton, so he's back, but so this is interesting. The director of the Ant-Man movies, Peyton Reed, he's been doing dramas and comedies and action movies for forever now. Mm-hmm. He has always said his dream job is a Fantastic Four movie, and so they announced.
Nah, bro. My man has the wrong dreams then, because the thing is a Fantastic Four movie is never going to be good, and those are the rules. We talked about this, right?
Something. Yeah. I think we were talking about The Incredibles.
Yeah, because I was like, the Human Torch is cool. She can be invisible. He can stretch, and the other guy's a bag of rocks. Like, it's just not. It's not gonna work, bro. It's not cool, no matter what. But now he's apparently right. Is what you're gonna tell me is that he wants to do, or he's doing a Fantastic Four movie.
Well, so this is interesting because he wants to do it, right?
Right.
And he said he's been public about the fact that he wants to do a Fantastic Four movie. They announced a Fantastic Four movie just now, but no date, no nothing, no cast, nothing. Just they announced it. But they announced the director, and the director is John Watts, and he's the guy who did the first two. He's doing the 3 Spider-Mans.
Okay.
So he fucked up the pitch somewhere, right? Like they were like, all right, children, huddle around, give me your best Fantastic Four, and John Watts went in there.
Peyton Reed was the guy that liked it, right?
Yeah.
He walked in and he was like, so here's my idea. And they're like, okay. And he was like, original costumes, true to the comics. And they're like, you're going to have Dr. Doom out here still rocking the little, like, fucking, like, green skirt hood deal? And he's like, absolutely, it's what Dr. Doom is. I'm like, is things still just gonna be bright orange like a fucking cartoon? He's like, yes. And they're like, no. It had to be what happened.
God, I can't really imagine when he realized that he fucked up the interview. I mean, that's gonna suck because you know when you interview for a job, that's like one thing. But then when you're like, I'd like to interview to direct my dream job, and then you fucking blow it, like, oh my God, I can't.
And they're like, all right, you're directing Ant-Man.
Yeah, we're gonna give you Ant-Man 3 if you shut the fuck up. It's like, do you remember that old Family Guy bit where Peter's in an interview, and the interviewer is like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And then Peter in his mind is like, don't say having sex with your wife. Don't say having sex with your wife. Don't say having sex with your wife. And then he goes, having sex with your son? It's like, and that's what I imagine he did. He's like, what do you see Mr. Fantastic doing? He'd be like, stretching a lot? And then they're like, okay. Well anyway, can you bring John Watt in, please?
It was nice meeting you. If you'd like to step over to the Ant-Man room.
And it's like the fucking scene in you haven't seen Goodfellas, have you?
No.
Oh well, at the end, for those who are listening, it's like Robert De Niro at the end telling fucking Karen to go into the closet or into the room with all the coats. But
I've never seen it, but that sounds ridiculous.
And so John Watts, I think that's the last thing that they announced was John Watts directing that one, and then and here it is, Black Panther 2 opening July 8th, 2022, written and directed by Ryan Coogler, but they're not recasting T'Challa. So they said they're going to explore the world of Wakanda and rich characters introduced in the first film.
Right. So that's the smart move, because whether or not you think that means that what's her name, Shuri in the movie, it becomes the Black Panther, whatever. But I don't feel like you can recast him after that. You know what I mean? And it's not that I don't know that I would describe his performance as supremely iconic, but just the way everything went down, it was iconic enough. He was, by all accounts, a great person. You know what I mean? It's just I don't see how you could recast it without it feeling icky to everyone watching. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like, you mentioned Superman before. It's like, after Christopher Reeve came, it's like if he would have gotten into his horse accident, after the first Superman, right?
Right.
Then they probably don't recast it because it's this guy is Superman, right?
Right.
I'm trying to think of who else would be someone similar. Because even something like Batman, like Christian Bale, right? He's pretty good, but there's nobody who's as one with the character as Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Yeah,
I think
that's a good one. Yeah.
Right? If he had passed after the third or second X-Men, I think they probably would have been like, holy shit, how could we ever, right?
Right.
So I think in terms of the people who are like one with the character, I probably think Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, Christopher Reeves as the first Superman, and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Also, probably, I mean, still probably what Robert Downey Jr. with Iron Man and
right,
Chris
yes,
Evans
of course.
with Captain
oh my
America.
God, yeah, the biggest fucking ones. I was just thinking, I was like, what's an old one that I would? Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, those two. Yeah. I mean, literally, they're so big that I think half of these shows are like other people living in their shadows.
Right, exactly.
Like the Winter Soldier is one. The
Falcon or whatever.
The Falcon, not Loki. Armor Wars, the one with Rhodey, Ironheart. So it's like half of these are like, hey, remember those two guys? Please watch the show. Please subscribe.
Yeah. So is that all we need to go over for the investor call?
Yeah. So that's everything that Disney's doing. They sort of, they put their nuts on the table, especially after the HBO Max thing last week, which we can go over later, but that was not received well.
No, it was because not. And that's the thing is that Disney set their nuts on the table, but they did it without pissing everyone off.
Everybody off. So fucking HBO Max. So somebody in the podcast I listened to today said something similar, where how we talked, I think 2 weeks ago now, about how, or maybe 3 or 4, about how Wonder Woman was moving to HBO Max in Christmas, and that was sort of like
I think it was 2 weeks ago because I think that came out today.
Yes, yeah. The canary in the coal mine for that, right? And so, they had, Patty Jenkins tweeted out about it, Gal Gadot tweeted about it. They were like, oh, you kind of go, oh, okay, they worked it out, and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And so then when they announced the giant batch that we mentioned last week, you kind of thought, you think, well, they must have thought about talking to people, right? Like they must have told people, like directors and actors.
Nah, bro.
People. Nope. They literally 30 minutes before they were like, nope, all these movies are going over there. Fuck your back end points. Like, because these people, they make so much money that they're, like, if I'm like, Denis Villeneuve, the guy who's doing Dune, he probably goes, don't give me a lot of money. Give me $5 million and then give me 10%, like worldwide box office, right? And you go, oh my God. I'm going to be George Lucas in this bitch. Like, these idiots don't know what they've done. They fucked up. I'm going to make so much money.
Right.
And then they go, we're not putting it in theaters. Sorry. $5 million is on.
And he did the fucking Nick Young meme. He's like,
oh, yeah. He's like,
head turned sideways with a bunch of questions.
Of his threes, yes. Yes, exactly. And you go, fuck. And I think Christopher Nolan was pissed. And I think Denis Villeneuve was pissed. And I think, I'm sure a lot of people who aren't as big as them are. So they fucked this up.
Someone said it was the best karma that, they went through all this work to make sure that like Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins like were all like straight before they sent Wonder Woman to HBO Max. Mm-hmm. And then like they shit on everyone, and then like a week later it's like Patty Jenkins is doing fucking Star Wars.
Patty Jenkins,
peace out.
She's like, I don't need your fucking Wonder Woman shit.
Peace out.
Oh no! Breaking news! Ding 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 ding. Friday star Tommy Tiny Lister has passed away at 62. Debo.
Oh no, that's terrible. That's not good breaking news. Why have you done this?
That sounds terrible. Yeah. R.I.P. Debo, and not only just Debo, but then also the president in The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
All right, well.
Anyway, so those are the streaming wars. That's this week's edition of the streaming wars.
Yeah. So, and it seems like Disney didn't shit on anybody and still seems to be winning, right? Like yes. I think we look at that and be like, I think Disney still won.
And I think some of these leaked, but for the most part, most of these, we were like, what the fuck? Right? Like the Chippendale,
right.
Andy Samberg, where you go, huh? Like when did we had like the Lion King one, and we had like the director of Captain America or Captain Marvel 2, and a couple.
We didn't know a Taika Waititi fucking Star Wars movie was coming.
Right, exactly. It's you're like, okay, like how did this isn't just like Mr. Disney doesn't email Taika, right? Like this goes through hundreds of thousands of people, and they
everyone kept it under claps. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, that's insane. So the one of the last, we have 2 more things basically that I want to touch on.
Yeah. All right. I was gonna say, speaking of what's it called, unstoppable forces meeting immovable objects.
Right. Wait, how is this gonna tie in?
Well, because the fucking Disney, like just Disney and what's his name?
Yeah, but like
HBO Max.
Okay, sorry, I meant going into the next point. Like what's the immovable object? Because it's really just about an unstoppable force.
Floyd.
Right.
Floyd is the immovable object, and the unstoppable force is Logan Paul's boxing career.
But no, Logan Paul's gonna get smacked. It's not. This is not like when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. This is when an unstoppable force meets like a bag of hay and just fucking plows through it.
Okay, so just to give people some backspace, backstory. Logan Paul fought Nate Robinson and beat the shit out of him.
Jake Paul.
Oh, Jake Paul. Wait, so there's two? Wait, I know there's two, but they both box?
Yes. It's so fucking ridiculous.
So which one's the really good one? Logan or Paul?
Paul.
Jake. Jake Paul's the really good one.
Yeah. Logan Paul's the one that's not as good. Logan Paul lost to the other YouTuber KSI when they fought.
So which one's fighting Floyd Mayweather?
Logan Paul, the bad one.
Wait, so why?
Don't know.
Wait, wouldn't he want to... So what's going on here? What is this?
So after Jake Paul fought, Logan Paul was like, I want to fight Floyd Mayweather. And Jake Paul was like, I want to fight Conor McGregor. And the thing is, like, maybe Jake Paul could actually take Conor McGregor. I don't think that's impossible to believe because Jake Paul's actually been training boxing. But Logan Paul is going to get his shit kicked in. And here's the deal. I saw this. This is the most fucking unsubstantiated rumor ever. But apparently, Floyd Mayweather's very close to Nate Robinson, so now Floyd Mayweather's gonna dog out fucking Jake Paul's brother just to fucking prove a point. Yo, here's the deal. I don't think that's true. But if it is true, and he actually comes into this serious, and like within 30 seconds of the first round, is just like rocking his shit,
makes him shit himself.
I'll be so happy, bro.
You're gonna punch him like he did the Big Show. And then run out the ring.
But yeah, now Logan Paul's the bad one, and that's the one that's fighting Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, anyway, but my thoughts on this were, so I was like, oh, a little, how can I say it? Not variety, but I forget what the word is. But I was like, oh, like that's cool that the people are talking about boxing because it's like a little, like, fucking exhibition match, right? But then it got me thinking, I was like, this is actually kind of sad how far the sport has fallen.
See, I don't think that. The sport hasn't really fallen anywhere except here in America because no big American fighters are fighting again.
Right. But I mean, like, that's part of it. Like, so, like, I was thinking, I was like, you know, when I was a kid, right, I would go over to my aunt's house with my family. I was like 10 or 9 or something. And my family would order the pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's, like, the big lead-up, right? Like, I think I would always fall asleep before the big match at, like, midnight.
Oh, yeah.
And then
the same thing happened. My dad used to watch boxing. I would try and stay with him, and I'd fall asleep in the undercard.
Fall asleep, yeah. You missed, like, Tito Trinidad fighting Oscar De La Hoya. But then I remember, like, watching that, and it'd be like, well, you know, here's Arnold Schwarzenegger courtside, or ringside. Here's Sylvester Stallone, and Bruce Willis, and, like, Angelina Jolie and shit. Like, these huge actors, right? And, like, the whole world stopped for these fights because these were like the huge fights, right? Mm-hmm. And then, you know, guys that have been trained their whole fucking lives, and like these fights were like just went on forever, and people would like get into arguments about them, and like they would capture the zeitgeist of America in the early 2000s, late 1990s. Mm-hmm. Now people get psyched about Floyd Mayweather fighting a YouTuber.
No, so I think there's some things that might be getting looked over here. So like, think of how Deontay Wilder's not even a good boxer, and that shit was a super big deal when he was about to fight Tyson Fury. Like, he was new. He wasn't, like, defending anything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think boxing is just as big everywhere else as it has been. I think MMA here has eaten into it just here. I don't think MMA is nearly as big worldwide as it is here. And so, like, I think it's eaten into it a little bit. Also, the accessibility, like, MMA is much cheaper, and the thing is, I think just a lot of different things go into it. But I think what we have to realize here is that, like, as much as it's like, oh, it's just Mayweather fighting, like, a YouTuber, it's a YouTuber that a lot of fucking people hate and is super well known, and then a guy that's the best ever. Like the reason the hype is there has nothing to do with, like, oh, this is the only thing people care about boxing. It's just, like, you could have told me this in any sport. Like, you could have told me, I'm trying to think of a good example here. You could have told me Logan Paul was doing a one-on-one challenge with
LeBron James? Like,
nah, because it has to. The thing is, the physicality of it matters. Like LeBron James will absolutely physically dominate Logan Paul on a basketball court. But what I'm saying is that like you need a one-on-one challenge of like I'm trying to like J.J. Watt and Logan Paul like playing football. You know what I mean? Like you need like another grown man to just physically dominate someone you hate and make him look childish. Like that's I guarantee people would watch that too. You know what I mean? I don't think it's just anything about the state of boxing as much as it's about the people that are on Earth. Like,
right. But still, like, I mean, like, this is what people were. There were like interviews and like it was on ESPN and shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but at this point, like, there's not a whole lot of sports going on anyway. So I mean, like, I think ESPN's like kind of clawing for anything.
Right, like who would say who's like another really good boxer? Canelo Alvarez, like like
Canelo Alvarez. Still... Yeah, in his fight with Floyd Mayweather was a big deal. That was a while ago, but I mean,
yeah.
And the thing is, I think whenever Americans are involved, it becomes a big deal here, and I think that's kind of what we're missing now. Is like I don't think a lot of Americans care about. The other thing is that like the heavyweight class is not. As Americans, I think a lot of people are like, I want to watch people get knocked out. You know what I mean? Like, so like. Obviously, that happens more with your heavier fighters. So, in like the heavyweight, that's why Deontay Wilder was in it. They had fucking Deontay Wilder out here punching mascots on ESPN. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It's like people thought he fucking cracked a rib of the dude in the mascot suit.
Yes.
So I mean,
like broke a jaw or something.
Something like that. Yeah, it was fucked up. But like, yeah, he was out here punching mascots on live TV. So obviously, it was a big deal. Like, it's not something ESPN normally has on the schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, here's the deal. I would love to watch this fight. There's no way I'm spending any money on it. So like,
no, I don't like either one of them really.
I don't either. I think I super enjoyed the Mayweather-McGregor fight, but that was more because people were trying to tell me McGregor actually had a chance. And like, for me, it was like as cocky as McGregor was, I was like, it seemed so. Here's the deal. They're both giant dickheads. But, like, it was so disrespectful for McGregor to be like, I think I could beat the best boxer in the world. Like, what are you doing?
Right. And, like, even those, like, both of them have trained their entire lives to make their bodies this sharp fucking weapon.
Right.
And then for me, like, I didn't think he had a chance either. But I go, okay, it's like, you know, it's kind of, I don't know. It makes more sense to be this Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather shit is like when Ocho Cinco tried to race a horse. It's like that sort of seems sort of ridiculous. It's like you know.
And I bet ESPN covered it, didn't they? I feel like they had to, right? I don't know that they did, but
as like nothing. It was the equivalent of that squirrel that is on water skates, right? Like, or the dog that rides a skateboard. Like that's like that to me. That's what this is. It's like the NFL is this right now, and then in 20 years, the NFL has dropped down to being dudes racing racehorses, Tyreek Hill, you know, trying to race a cheetah, right? And stuff, and being treated as like an actual entry of the sport instead of being like. I don't think
people are treating this as an entry of the sport, though. I just think it's like what people will care about as Americans, and social media is a big deal, so they show it. Like I don't think anyone's looking at this as like the direction boxing is going. You know what I mean?
No, but if they show it like on Showtime or I know HBO Boxing doesn't exist.
They're not going to. It's going to be on like some extra like pay-per-view streaming service, just like the McGregor one was.
Yeah.
But like the thing is that like, I don't know. I just don't think it's as boxing is going as downhill. The other thing is that like this also is really only happening because you have someone that's willing. I'm trying to think of a good example. It'd be like if Michael Jordan, after he retired from the Wizards, like high school players were calling him out for one-on-ones, and he was actually showing up. Because I bet that would have been newsworthy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think the issue is that you have someone finally that's willing to be like, "Fuck it, I'll do it." Like most people, I don't think like. Michael Jordan would have been like, no, I'm fine with my life the way it is, and I don't need to go fucking play some high schooler, right? But
right.
And this is kind of what I thought that crossed my head when this came out. And we have like a fantasy football chat, and I kind of briefly mentioned it there, but it's like, can you imagine being a person, right? And you've trained literally your whole life. Like, I think since Floyd was probably 3 or 4, that man had a pair of boxing gloves.
Yeah,
his dad was
like,
a boxer, and his uncle was a boxer. You know what I mean? Like, that's all they did.
Right.
you've trained your whole life to just be able to inflict pain on people in a sanctioned
Mm-hmm.
event, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go through your whole professional career never losing a fight, possibly losing one fight, but really never losing a fight. Well, maybe the other way around. Like he kind of lost that fight, but the judges gave it to him anyways. So
Yeah.
here's the deal. Actually, if you're 50-0 and you only have one fight that people are like, that seems like you lost that one. You still did pretty fucking good.
Yes.
So there's that one. So your whole life you've just been beating the shit out of people. Like that's your whole thing is like I can beat the shit out of people and not get hurt. Like that's all I've done in my life. And then afterwards, right? You're just fucking walking around, shopping at the mall, fucking blowing money, whatever, right? And your agent calls you and he's like, "Hey, there's this guy who wants to fight you." And you're like, "That's cool because that's what I'm good at. I fight people and I'm great at it." And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
"How much money's in it?" And they're like, "A fucking lot. Like, there's going to be a lot of money in this." Is the other guy good at fighting? No, not really. Fuck it, I'll beat the shit out of somebody for money.
Right.
Like, how do you turn that down? That's the thing. It's like at first I was like, I'm like, I can't believe McGregor is like, or not McGregor, like Mayweather's like doing this. You know what I mean? Like it's like not.
It's beneath him.
Yeah, it's beneath him. But then I was like, it's just like the Rondo thing. Like, where I was like, Rondo is like, he's a 2-year, $15 million. Why would you go play for the Hawks after you just won a title with the Lakers? And the answer was like 2 years, $15 million, and you get to be in Atlanta. And I was like, oh, no, never mind. I guess I get it. It's that. Like,
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
like, why would you fight Logan Paul? And it's like, oh, it's because there's zero chance you'll lose and you're going to make a shit ton of money? Of course you fight Logan Paul. Fuck it. Fund it, bro. I'm going to be there. I'm going to train for like 2 days, and I'm just going to rock this dude. Why wouldn't you do it?
Exactly. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. As long as because and then shit moves so fast now that people are gonna forget about.
Right. That's the other
shit.
thing is he's fought fucking Conor McGregor. He fought some random fucking kickboxer in like Japan or Thailand or something like that. Did you know about that one?
No.
Yeah, he fought like a professional kickboxer, just beat the dog shit out of him in a boxing match. In an exhibition match overseas, and now he's doing this one. He's just out here just accepting all calls to just whip someone's ass for money.
Except when 50 Cent told him to read the Harry Potter book.
Yeah, okay. That's the difference. Is he's been training to fight, not read.
Not to read. They didn't bring us here to play school. Remember the Cardell Jones tweet?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not here to play school.
So yeah, and then that kind of got, because like, so part of me was like, first of all, I don't know how I wouldn't just be the biggest asshole. Can you imagine if you were just walking around and knowing that at any given moment, if an altercation broke out, you'd be safe, right? Like there's like, if a fight broke out anywhere you're at, you're like, I can handle this better than anybody else here, right? So,
like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, exactly. Like Mike Tyson in his prime, like it doesn't matter what you have. I'm just going to rock your shit. Like
I could kill somebody with these hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't test me.
So you're that, and then people are asking you to do it for money. It's just insane. But then it got me thinking about like, well, before I move on, was there anything else you wanted to add to this?
No, just
mockery of a thing?
probably won't watch it. Probably just follow it on Twitter and
Yeah,
kind of like the Nate
exactly.
Robinson thing. Yeah.
Boy, Nate Robinson got put to sleep. Like, he hit the ground so hard. The best tweet I saw was that like Nate Robinson felt like the toys when Andy's coming. That shit killed me because his face hits the fucking canvas so hard.
I think I said, I was like, his face stopped his body from really getting hurt on that one.
All right. So, anyways, where I was going with this is that like being so like next worldly or like next level, you know what I mean, otherworldly at something and especially something like combat sports, just because like that really kind of does apply. You know what I mean? Like if you're an NFL linebacker, like you're big as shit and you're strong as shit, but like the skills you learn as an NFL linebacker probably don't translate necessarily to like a lot of situations. Like I feel like being able to throw like a punch and avoid punches, you know what I mean, does. So,
yeah.
But it got me thinking, and also I was talking to my dad about fantasy football, and like Keenan Allen got brought up because Keenan Allen lived near here. He played for Northern Guilford, I think. And so like he was like, did anybody like ever play against him in high school?
Mm-hmm.
because he was like, Keenan Allen's a wide receiver in the NFL, but he was like, but I think coming out of high school, he was like more highly regarded as a safety. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
so the thing is, my only story with Keenan Allen was that like I know a couple people. I've heard the story I think from two people, and it was that like Asheboro High School played Northern, and Keenan Allen was on the field. Maybe it was Northern, but they played Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen like apparently at one point on defense walks up to the offensive line and he calls their play for them. Like he walks up and like calls the play that they're about to run. The quarterback doesn't do anything. He just calls the play, and it was a like run, and he called the run play and the gap it was going to go through. And apparently, Keenan Allen just cracked this dude, like went straight through the gap and cracked him. And like they were like, it was awful. It was the amount, the how much better he was than everybody else was like so weird to watch, right?
Right.
And it has to be. And I'm going to go into that in a second. But then also, my dad told me a story that when he was in high school, he played against a guy not nearly the same level because I don't think this guy made the NFL. But my dad lived in a super, super, super small town, like infinitely smaller than Asheboro, like super tiny. And his high school team played against a guy who was it was a running back that ended up getting recruited by I think he said West Virginia. And he was like, the thing I noticed the most was that he said that like his defense had him playing kind of like a linebacker, defensive back, like kind of hybrid position.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, when I tried to tackle him, it hurt me. He was like I tackled him, but it hurt me. And so like I was like, can you imagine just like and this like is what got nuts to me about high school sports in general. Like, so in college, right, if you're that much better than everyone else, right, you're still going to get recruited by a D1 school, and you're going to get put with a bunch of people who are that good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course, like, you get your NFL level players, but even in college, they're not that much better, at least in football. Like, sometimes in basketball it happens. But in football, I feel like there's so many people on the field, your position is so specialized as to what you're doing on the field that it's hard to, like, completely take it over. You know what I mean? You're just very good at your position. And then when you go to the pros, it's like we hand-plucked the people that are pro levels out, so you're playing against other pros. In high school, you just happen to grow up in the same general fucking region. Like, there's a dude somewhere, right, that was like 6'4", and was like, I really like playing basketball. And then grew up a town over or like on the other end of town from goddamn Shaquille O'Neal growing up in high school. And he was like, one game a year, he fucking went to that school. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, like
it's like when you'd see those high school videos of Zion, and he's dunking on these like just like little Catholic school kids that like.
And the thing is
they're like
against
6'2".
other schools, those Catholic school kids were probably fine, but then every fucking like once or twice a year, this motherfucker showed up to town, and it's just because you lived in the same area. And the other thing is, you have no fucking control over that as a high schooler. Like, it's not like. It's just where your parents are. Like,
right. It's like my dad happened to get a job at the sawmill, and then now I have to fucking
Shaquille O'Neal's nuts in my face.
Yeah, Tim Duncan is posting up on me, and I'm 6'2". It's like, oh my god, it's like that fucking vine of the kid on guarding Taco Fall.
Yes, bro, the super heavy.
He's like, he's like doing
looking up. Like...
he's like in his face. He's like, what are you doing?
But like, can you imagine? Like, what do you do? And it's funny because my dad sent me the fucking newspaper clipping because he like, I'm assuming you can just find it online, and it was like, he was reading it, and apparently the second play of the game was that dude hit a 60-yard run for a touchdown, like right off the bat was just so much better than everybody else, and then I was like. He must have really been fucking y'all up because later in the article, it's like they were breaking tackles through just sheer strength alone. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Because he said he was like 6'3", like 220 as a running back, which is huge. So it's like, what do you do against that? There's no in-game adjustment for that. You know what I mean? There's no in-game adjustment. It's like, nah, this dude for years has just been getting bigger, stronger, and faster for you. And then you showed up and were like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
Have you seen you mentioned this topic. Have you seen Derrick Henry's high school stats?
I have
you
not,
seen
but it's
those?
got to be something stupid, right?
Dude, like, so, Derrick Henry destroys grown NFL professional football players now, right?
Right.
Like, all pro dudes are getting just destroyed by Derrick Henry. So, I'm only going to pick a few of these because there's, 12 games, right, usually?
Okay.
So, I'll pick the one with his most carries.
Okay.
57 carries.
Jeez, hold on, bro.
485 yards.
Jeez.
8.51, long of 52, 6 touchdowns.
Jesus.
That wasn't even the one with his
57
most
carries, bro.
That wasn't even the one with the most yards. Somebody said 57 yards or 57 carries is child endangerment law violation.
That's a child labor law issue, bro.
So here's it, and then his most yards were 45 carries, 510 yards, 11.33, 70 yards long, 6 touchdowns.
Jesus Christ. Yo, this one, 21 carries is all, 400 yards. He averaged 19 yards a carry. Bro, my man was busting your shit in for 20 yards every time they handed it to him.
So the season total was 462 carries, 4,200 yards, 9.2. So every time he was given the ball,
First down.
he got a first down, pretty much. 55 rushing touchdowns.
12
These
games.
are like Madden numbers.
Yo, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half of the games he played, he had over 5 touchdowns, bro. What the fuck? And that's what I'm saying. So you're a kid in another one of these schools, and you're just like, oh, I just like football. I want to play football. And you end up on the team, and this motherfucker shows up to your school.
Jesus.
What? All right, hold on. So, first level, if you're the kid and you're supposed to tackle him, and he starts fucking running at you, it's got to play a part that clearly the kid's going to be like, I don't even want to fucking tackle this dude. I
don't even want to do this.
Just like, every tackle on Derrick Henry in high school after the first quarter, right, had to look like a fucking punter trying to tackle someone. We're just like, they just kind of like fall in the direction of the person, like, trying to get him again. Because I guarantee the first time you try to tackle that dude, it felt like you shattered your goddamn collarbone, bro.
Pain.
Yo, Derrick Henry was out here like, I'm just trying to make sure I'm running north-south, and you were fighting for your life to try and tackle him, bro.
Guess how many touchdowns he had all through high school? Like the total. So he had 55, but guess how many total?
I just want to do the math and say, like, it's got to be around 200, right?
153.
That's
the man
still fucking nuts.
He was a freshman. He was 14 years old, and he averaged. Here's his 4 years, yardage: 2,400 yards, 2,700 yards, 2,600 yards, 4,200 yards.
Jesus Christ! Hold on, between junior and senior year, it must have been when he got jacked. He was clearly always talented, but he definitely hit a growth spurt for them to be like, I think we can get 4,200 yards out of you this season. Like, that's fucking double, bro. And they're like, look at the guy standing next to you, and he's like, okay, he's like 3.5 feet shorter than me. I think I got it.
Jesus Christ, dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, God, that's what I'm saying. And like, again, so you're the kid, you're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with Derrick Henry. How do I stop Derrick Henry? You know what I mean? Like, I just grew up here. Fuck me, I guess.
You just look at him like that picture of Mark Ingram in the Letterman jacket looking up at Derrick Henry. Have you seen that picture?
No, I haven't, but...
Yeah, look up, what's his name? What's his name? Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram, Derrick Henry
photo is the first thing that pops up.
Oh,
yeah, bro. Jesus.
And the thing is, Mark Ingram is a Heisman winner, right?
Mark Ingram is also, I mean, he's not super tall or big, but he's still fucking jacked, and he looks like a child next to Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry looks like an action figure superhero compared to Mark Ingram standing right next to him. Like Derrick Henry's supposed to be the superhero, Mark Ingram's supposed to be like a civilian.
Right. Imagine, like, I don't know, Otto Graham trying to attack. I don't know if Otto Graham played defense or offense. I don't care. Imagine him trying to tackle Derrick Henry.
Bro, he'd shatter every bone in his fucking body. But that's like some poor bastard just like walked up, and then here's the deal: a coach was like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do with this?" like Derrick Henry showed up to your game, and as a coach, you were supposed to figure something out. Like, you know what I mean? Like how do we stop Bro, Derrick Henry got 4,200 fucking yards in a season, and
is it possible to
opposing
put
coaches are
11?
like, what should I do?
Is it possible to put 11 in the box? Is that even a thing?
He was fucking elbowing the ref. He's like, just let me put like 3 more men on the field. I need something.
Please, it's like the fucking. I mentioned this before. The Will Smith pain.
Oh yeah.
So his low.
Every single play, the coach looked like fucking Paul Gasol after he got dunked on by fucking Blake Griffin. You remember when he was complaining to the ref and he was like, he just looked upset and was like holding his hands out, like, what am I supposed to do?
I think I got got. So the one game where he looked at like a normal human, 43 carries. That's ridiculous still. 189, 4.4, 1 touchdown. So that's like he probably faced like a college level defense in that one. Right. Probably had like a Watt brother, or maybe had I don't know who's another, like the Ndamukong Suh or some shit.
Or a Bosa.
A Bosa, yeah, or like a Bosa, yeah. But then after that, 317, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, had a solid bounce back game.
yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I just can't imagine what it would be like to be that human. You know what I mean? Like you're growing up in high school and all of a sudden you're just like, I can just fucking dominate everyone.
Yeah. But then it's cool because then for the rest of your life you can be like, hey, guess who I went to high school with? Yeah, Derrick Henry.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry would stiff arm me so bad he gave me whiplash in practice.
You see the scar on my chin? Yeah, Derrick Henry punched me there when he was running up the gut.
Oh God, Derrick Henry didn't even notice, but he really fucked my shit up when he ran by me one time. I just bounced off like a fucking bowling pin, but he just kept going. Oh God. So yeah, that's all I wanted to touch on with that. The last thing we want to touch on is favorite Christmas present ever.
Yeah.
Because this is coming out Christmas Eve.
Yeah. So Merry Christmas if you're listening to this. Hope 2020 wasn't great for most of us, but hopefully next year will be good, and hopefully Christmas will be a little bit more back to normal. But as a part of that, we wanted to go into the memory bank and talk about our favorite Christmas presents, like the one that sort of you go, that was nice. Because nowadays, I still get Christmas presents right from your family and your loved ones and your significant others, but it's always just like, oh, something that I actually needed, like new coat hangers that are super nice and have that little suede velvet thing on top so that the clothes doesn't fall off, right? Or it's like, oh, a new Switch controller, oh, and it's got Mario on it. That's so cool. It's a little bit extra. It's not like the regular ones. So we went to go into ones that, like, you got them and you were like, holy shit, this is the greatest day ever. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, Santa's real,
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you want to start with the main one, or are you going to touch your runner-up first?
I'll just do the main one, and then as we sort of wrap it up, I'll do the runner-ups. But my main one, the greatest gift I ever received, was an Xbox 360. Xbox 360 in 2006, along with Madden 07, which had the greatest soundtrack of any Maddens. I played that. My family's Mexican, so our Christmas is Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve, we do food, we do the presents like at midnight. And so that's sort of like, we don't do anything on Christmas Day. We usually just kind of hang around, but there's nothing Christmassy about Christmas Day for us.
All right, so I don't know if this is going to sound shitty. Is that like a thing, clearly, I guess?
Doing it on Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the, God, boy, this is going to sound so shitty. Like, I'm going to say what's the reason, but I don't mean like, what the fuck? I just mean like what's the logic for it being Christmas Eve?
Actually, I don't know. I think it's sort of like the midnight thing, like you're sort of like New Year's Eve, like they just prefer that.
I got
to
you.
You kind of go like, oh, Christmas is at midnight, and then at midnight you go, Merry Christmas, yay.
Why don't you fucking heathens celebrate on Christmas Day?
And so Christmas Eve happened, and they were like, here's your present ever. And I was like, oh, cool. There's a couple of DVDs and a couple of clothes, and I wasn't expecting it, so I was like, all right, like, it sucks. I'll just buy a 360 later. And so I went to bed, and then I woke up, and it was sitting on like my nightstand table next to my TV, and I woke up and it was this big box, and I was like, oh, is it? Could it be? And then I opened it, and it was the 360, and this was a year after it had come out, so I was like, oh my God, right. Madden 07, and it. I didn't think it was Santa. I knew it wasn't Santa. This is 2006. I'm talking about.
It's been what, 8th grade year, I think, right?
I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, it's Santa.
Oh my God, he was in here. And so I played. That 360 lasted me for years. No, wait, No, yes, it did. It got the red ring of death, and I had to send it
Oh
back in,
no!
and they fixed it. But then eventually it did crap out on me. But that was my first time. I remember playing Halo and Madden and Gears of War, and just fucking you kind of never forget like that first really nice one because I had a PS1 growing up, but it was a couple years out, and a
Yeah,
PS2, but it's like it's not the same until you get like that first pristine like brand new one.
right. And so I actually my favorite Christmas present of all time is also the Xbox 360. So the I actually got it the year it came out, which at the time like supply did not meet demand. So actually, before I get into this, let's hit a little rewind. So I'm fucking stupid, and so like at one point, my dad, my stepmom, her mom were like all sitting around, right, and I was in the living room also, and they're all like kind of going through stuff. I don't really know what they were doing that led this to be the case, right? But like because I'm fucking stupid, I grabbed two receipts from, and it wasn't like I like the fact that these could be receipts that contained information I wanted to know had not even crossed my mind, right?
Right.
I fucking grabbed these two receipts and I'm like sitting there just fucking staring at them, right? But what I'm looking at is, at every fucking like store ever, like Cookout, CVS, Walmart, it's like at the very top, it's like
Right.
Walmart number fucking 3372, right?
Right.
And
Right.
it's
Right.
like gives the address, the phone number, the Walmart, like the manager, like I was literally looking at these two receipts, like going line by line and being like, wow, this is all the same information. I don't even know what I was trying to get from it. I was just looking at receipts and like, yeah, this is fucking Walmart 3372, and so was this. This is crazy. I was like, the manager's the same. This is crazy. Like just comparing all the information, and like they all of a sudden they're like in the middle of what they're doing. They see me looking at the receipts. And what I didn't realize is that these were receipts for gifts. So they fucking snatch them out of my hands, and my dad's furious because he thinks I ruined the surprise, right? But and here's the deal. He's like, why were you looking at the receipts? And I was like, I don't know. I just picked them up because I'm fucking stupid. And he's like, well, now you know what you got for Christmas. And my response is, nah, I was just reading the tops of the receipt. Bro, that's the most horseshit ass like lie ever, right? Like you could not come up with a worse excuse. But the fact of the matter is that's what I was actually doing. So like he was like, what the fuck? Like I got this great gift that like I would have never thought he would give me, because he was always kind of like against video games in general, right? Because he thought I think he thought like I played games too much and didn't go out enough and blah blah blah, which is probably all true. But like he finally was like, I'm just getting video games because he really likes them, and he thought I ruined it. And my excuse was like, no, I was just matching up the managers at the Walmarts. The fuck is wrong with me?
It's like the scene in Superbad when Michael Cera's looking back at that girl's boobs.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like staring at the boobs, and she like makes eye contact with him, and he just like looks up at the distance. He goes, and he's like squints his eyes.
God, but so like, yeah, and so he then told me, he was like, so I mean, I'm not getting it for you anyways. But his way to see if I was lying, he was like, I was getting you a PSP, which was also coming out and was also a big deal. So I was like, fuck, I wanted the PSP. I didn't know that until you told me just now. Because again, didn't actually read what was on the receipt. So I was like, you didn't have to tell me. You could have just kept it a secret, and I still could have had a PSP, and it would have been fucking lit. This would have been great. And so like, I'm like having a full-fledged fucking breakdown because I'm fucking stupid. Again, this all rides from me being fucking stupid. And so he lets it ride based off my wild overreaction to not getting a PSP. He was like, I don't think he really understood that. He was like, I think he really was just reading the top of receipts. And so he got me, he still kept the 360. The thing so fast forward to Christmas Day now. It again, supply did not meet demand. So I was actually on the waiting list for it, and so he was like, they just took like construction paper and cutouts of like the 360, the controller. I think the games they had because there wasn't like a shortage on the actual games. So it was like the games and then like a cutout of all the information about the 360, like the release date, the specs, like all this stuff, and had it on the piece of paper. So I opened the box and like for a split second, I was like, a piece of paper. Like then looked at it and I was like, what? This is fucking nuts. And it was just a great gift. I was told it was going to be like 2 weeks before it showed up, but it actually showed up in like 3 days. It was just fucking great. Everything worked out. I thought I was getting a PSP, but fuck that PSP. The 360 was better anyway.
And how long did it end up lasting you?
It lasted a really long time, and then it never got the red ring of death. The HDMI port took a shit on it. Like we use like composite cables and it would still work, but the HDMI port wouldn't work, or maybe it was just like the video card, whatever, like wouldn't like it would turn on. I could hear all the audio. I could move around the menus and hear it, but like just nothing would display on the TV. So I had to send it out and get it repaired. But then it came back, and I think I used that one like literally until the PlayStation 4 came out. Like it was always good. It never broke down.
Nice, yeah. I mean, I said, the Xbox I had before I had my PS4 now, it lasted me from 2011 through like 2018. Like, and it wasn't. I got it with my laptop, but it wasn't the same one I got for Christmas.
Right.
But then eventually it just crapped out on me. But same with this one. But yeah. So that was my greatest gift I've ever gotten.
Yep, that was mine. I also got Perfect Dark, which was like a big. There was one on the N64. It was a big deal, so they rebooted it when the 360 came out. It was a big deal, and it was actually kind of trash. I liked it because of that. I was just like, "Fuck it, I got a 360. Everything's lit." But looking back, it was actually just kind of bad. But I was all in on it anyway. So.
Nice. I also got my other like a couple of runner-ups. I got a PS1. I remember one Christmas. I got a PS1. And that one was okay. It's the little one. I played a lot of WWE SmackDown versus Raw. And,
right.
No, I think it was just like SmackDown back then.
Right.
And then what else? GTA when it was like that overhead one.
Yeah.
A bunch of other shitty ones that weren't very good. I got an RV truck one time, and that was pretty cool. But until the battery dies after like a month.
An RC truck?
Oh, sorry, RC truck. Sorry.
Okay, RV truck. I was like, they bought you a fucking RV, bro. You started cooking meth at the.
No, RC truck, and then eventually the battery fucks, and you're just like stuck with this like little giant car toy thing.
Right.
And
the
then
wheels don't even fucking roll because they're meant to not move until the motor.
Exactly, you're just like pushing it. You're like, oh, this sucks. Well, at least you can act like it's playable. A Game Boy Color. I got a Game Boy Color, and that was pretty sweet. I played, I got it with Crystal, and then Crystal got stolen, and then I had Silver, and then I told my dad, I was like, Dad, you gotta buy me Gold, because you think, right, it's another Pokemon game until you realize that it's the exact same game,
except which is like very slight variants.
Very slight variations, and I was like, well, this fucking sucks. Of course, I didn't tell them that it's like it's the same game. Fuck. I was just like, thanks, like it's so fun. It's such a different game. Cool. And so, yeah, those are probably like the ones that I remember being like opening them up and being like, oh my God, a Game Boy Color.
Yeah, I got a Game Boy Color, I think, one year, now that I'm thinking about it. Because my uncle is actually only like, I'm fucking terrible with ages, but he's like within like 4 or 5 years, I think. Maybe a little more than that. I think he was like in early high school when I was like 4th or 5th grade. So I guess, probably, it might be like 4 or 5 years. So like he wasn't that much older than me. So like we still like had some similar interests. It's not like my uncle was like my dad's brother. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a whole like generation. It was still pretty close. And so like we both got Game Boy Colors, and that was pretty cool because we both played Pokemon. That was pretty cool. I'm trying to think of some other runner-ups. I know I got a GameCube.
Ooh, nice.
That was cool. I got a bike once, and the thing is like, if I'm being honest, I didn't fucking learn how to ride a bike until like 7th grade. So I was like, this fucking bike thing. Like at a certain point, once you're that old and don't really know how to ride a bike, it's not like you're gonna be like, let's all go ride bikes. And you're just gonna be fucking struggling in the back, like, just noticeably worse than everyone else at riding a bike. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? So yeah, I never really like got into bike riding. But yeah. Oh, and one time I tried to ride my bike down to this one area and got attacked by fucking bees, and I was like,
Holy
nah,
shit.
bro, fuck this bike. So yeah.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna go back inside and play my fucking Xbox.
I remember actually one time it wasn't the same bike. I'd clearly gotten a bike before and never learned to ride it. It would be my answer based on my timeline. But I remember one time we lived in these like little apartments, and they had like a back porch that was like separated off. The best way I can explain it is just like, imagine a whole apartment building on the bottom floor has like one, I guess it wasn't an apartment. It's like townhomes more than anything, but it wasn't like you bought them. They were like rentals. You know what I mean? You paid rent. But like the back porch was like, imagine one long continuous back porch along this whole long building, but then they just threw up little bricks in between like each section of where someone should live. You know what I mean? So it's like, really, it's not like your own back porch. It's just there's walls to section off your little area. But anyways, I went back there, was like, I'm going to just pull out this bike. I fucking took the cover off the bike, went to put my hand on it, and there was a giant ass fucking black king snake wrapped around the handlebars. I was like, peace out. I ran back inside, bro. Yeah, I guess I have some bad experience with bikes. I guess everyone probably does that. Everyone probably eats shit on a bike at some point, but like, a whole ass fucking snake. I was like, no, I'm out. Like,
yeah, I would ride mine all over Ashboro and fucking like, just until I got stolen one day. The one day I didn't lock it up, got stolen.
Yo, no bullshit. As a grown ass fucking adult, I guess, like, I was in community college. I was probably 19, 20 at the time. Me and one of my friends that lived like just down the road from me. Colin, shout out to Colin. He's the one who made the fucking logo. He like got a bike, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just buy a bike and we'll just fucking ride around and just be stupid. Because I was like, at this point, at this age, it's like I can kind of just figure it out. So we're riding bikes, bro. It's like the middle of the night. It's like fucking 2:00. We're not even doing dumb shit. We're not even being like mad fucking delinquent. It's just like the roads are empty, so I feel confident to ride a bike because I can figure out how to ride a bike. I'm still not trying to ride it next to the highway while a fucking car is zooming past me. It's not my deal. Because I'm a fuck up and just be like, huh, and just cut to the left and get creamed. So, like, it's like 2 a.m. We're going across the bridge, the overpass, right before you get to the cemetery in Ashboro. You know what I'm talking about? Well, not the overpass, sorry. You know the car wash, like 64 and 49? There's the car wash that's like in between them.
Rainbow shit?
Yeah.
And they sort of crisscross?
And there's an overpass right there.
Yeah.
It's like 2 a.m. We're riding on this overpass. I don't know what the fuck happened. There's one of them's riding in front of me, one of them's riding behind me. It's like Colin and his brother. Bro, I'm just riding like in a straight fucking flat surface. Literally, like, the gear on the bike, like, slips. The fucking pedal flips around, catches my back heel, and I do a fucking front flip. The bike goes flying over me, and I was like, I got up there, like, what the fuck happened? And I was like, I don't know. Like we were just on flat. But aside from that, can you just imagine, like, how stupid that looked? Like, if it was on a TV screen, right, and you saw, like, 3 people just riding bikes in a line, and then all of a sudden the one in the middle on a flat surface, fucking pavement, it's not, like, gravel, it's, like, pavement, they're just coasting, and then one of them all of a sudden's like, a front flip, the fucking bike goes in there. Like, what the fuck?
There is a... You remind me, there's a scene in the show Girls where she is riding a bike. She went to Iowa for, like, her writing masters, and I remember this scene so vividly because she's just riding the bike down on campus, and then it cuts to like a shot from her front of her to like a shot from the side of the road, and she just like slows down, goes off the road a little bit, and then just like fucking falls over. And I remember being like, what the hell was that? Why did that happen? Why did that need to be? Because she's just like, it's supposed to show that she's going from one class to another, and she just like rides and then just falls.
Yeah, it was like that. Like, there was no reason for me to, like, literally front flip and eat shit on a bike right there. But it's just what fucking happened. Like, and I was just, like, so confused. It was so out of nowhere. You know, like, the thing is, it's like, I ate shit on a scooter once, which are fucking death traps, bro. Like the Razor scooters.
Mm-hmm.
I was going down a steep-ass hill, fucking moving too fast. But the thing is, the whole time that's happening, you're like, I'm probably going to eat shit. You know what I mean? Like, I was just fucking riding flat slowly. Like there's a certain level of preparedness, which is like, I'm gonna get hurt. You know what I mean? Like I'm going way too fast. I'm gonna get hurt. This was like, I was just cruising and all of a sudden I was like, fuck.
I just sent you the video. I found it.
Okay, yeah.
She's just like riding a bike, going down Iowa State campus or whatever, just like doing her thing with her helmet.
All right, hold on. I got it playing now. Well, it was trying to play, but my phone's failing me. I need to read a good warranty. I get a fucking ad. I'll catch it. I'll check it out later. But yeah, I have to imagine it's roughly the same fucking situation.
Yeah, you're just going. You're like, oh, fuck. That was surprising.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, Christmas presents. Xbox 360 was the top present for me, as it was for you.
Yep.
So that's the episode, guys. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. Your Christmas gift to us could be letting someone else know about the podcast. So I'm going to tie that in.
Yep. Tell the person you're spending Christmas or your holidays with about the podcast.
Absolutely. There's a good one. Fucking wrap up a piece of paper that says listen to the Different Animals podcast and then get slapped in the face because it's the worst gift ever. But anyway,
just whisper, it'll come here in 2 weeks.
All right. So everybody stay safe. Sorry. If you want to catch me, you can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at TMoneyBags.
And I'm at EverCastro92 on Instagram.
And if you want to catch the podcast directly, you can catch us at DiffAnimalsPod on Twitter and Instagram, or email us directly at differentanimalspodcast@gmail.com. So stay safe, stay entertained, and we will catch you guys next week.
And then next week is the last episode of the year.
Oh, shit. So we'll do a year-end episode. We already did music. We'll find something to talk about.
Yep.
All right, guys. See you.
Peace.
What up?